nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around. Mysteries we have found. In the shadows we dance.
Good morning and welcome to the MyTarot morning reflection, daily inventory, and chance to check in with the universe. So, I was talking to Mina last night, and she was talking about different forms of meditation and things like that. And she was talking about one that she was reading about, or somebody was talking about with her. And that's about getting in touch with the different elements. Earth, air, water, all the things we talk about with the tarot. So just to let people in on a little secret, when we do the tarot, when we do that morning meditation where I talk about that, and I always talk about feet flat on the floor and butt doing the kitty dance and shoulders and then neck. So, good morning, Tony. So I was just saying it's like about morning meditation. And not that I'm trying to teach anybody anything along with that breath, but I was telling her because as we were talking about the different elements and just focusing on that, secretly that's what we do every morning. Because when I teach tarot, one of the things I talk about is that how the body reflects the different elements. So we have our feet, which make us grounded. So I'm actually thinking about the ground. And then we have our groin area, our hips, our groin. That's actually the element of fire because that's our passion, that's our drive, that's all our things like that. When I talk about our shoulder, well, what's right in between our shoulders? That's our heart. So there's water. Then when I do the neck, it's actually a focus on the element of air. So literally every morning, listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean, taking that breath, and I mentioned about getting our feet flat on the floor, having our butts doing the kitty dance, which is just making sure our butts are comfortable in our seats, checking where our shoulders are, and then checking in with our neck. And literally we've just grounded ourselves, covered the elements. And as I like to say, it flips our light switch. It says, this is the time now where I'm going to change my alpha waves, whatever the heck that means. Or it's a moment that says, all right, light switch has been flipped. And now we're going to check in with the universe, see if there's any angers or resentments, any tips or tricks. So I like to say it's like when we meditate in the morning, it's a chance to see if we do have any anxieties or resentments or anything that might pop up during the day where if somebody says something, we would just lash out. But if we look at it in the morning, then maybe we'll react differently. Just take a breath. So that's the purpose of what is going on here. I just, it was an interesting conversation that I had yesterday about that. So again, it's also our chance to check in with the elements, the universe, and all that wonderful stuff. And again, listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. So, let's see what we have today. So I am going to make our 3 stacks. Each one a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path because this stack will lead down one path. This stack is a totally different conversation and a totally different path. And this stack will lead us someplace totally different. So today, it's Monday, it's beautiful outside. Let's go right for the heart. Let's go for right at the center. And I'm going to do our 3 and 1. And flipping each card over one at a time, like we are reading the pages of a book. And the first card is the Wheel of Fortune. So look at this. So what is the Wheel of Fortune? The Wheel of Fortune is just not spinning it and hoping for the best. Although we can treat it that way. The Wheel of Fortune means change. And it also reflects sometimes on change that we can't control. But when I see the Wheel of Fortune, I always like to say that maybe we can influence the wheel. And I say that simply if we do the next right thing, a lot of times we tend to get the next right thing. So when we deal with things through our angers and resentments and the wheel spins, we usually get the results of our angers or resentments. So with the Wheel of Fortune, it's also a chance to check in with where we are, how we're centered, because life does life does through. Wow. me. Yes, I'm also a professional singer. But it's a chance to check in, see where we are, and how we can influence where we're going. The next card is the Ten of Swords. And why is that? Because a lot of times with changes, upcoming changes, things changing, there's a lot of anxiety behind it. So the Ten of Swords. Swords are the element of air, which we just talked about. And tens, with our numerology, 1 to 10. So you start out with one sword, it's an idea, and two swords, we have choices. But as you go through and you start collecting these swords, it's like we're collecting our ideas. And ooh, that is a lot of metal. And good morning, Jenna. Oh man, I may have to hire your services, Jenna, because I really have all this stuff that I've written and I need to like finally sit down and do it, and I can't motivate. But anyway, so we've collected, as Jenna says, all this steel, and if steel is our anxieties, you can imagine our fear of where we're going and the anxieties of tomorrow. So let's see what the next card is. It is the Nine of Wands. So again, we talk about all that time and effort we put in. And sometimes getting from point A to point B can be really stressful. So if swords are air, there are thoughts, there are ideas. Wands are when we put our thoughts into action. So thoughts are when we the wands are putting thought into action, and we get a lot done. But when we get to the Nine of Swords, it's a lot of that burden that we've taken on ourselves. And the question is that can we do things different? A burden shared is a burden halved. So what this is pretty much saying here is that, are we prepared for where we are going? Are we taking on the anxiety that's already of tomorrow? It's not even tomorrow yet. And yet we are already planning on how stressful it's going to be. How much we wish we had more money. How much we wish this. How much we wish that. And then we get all that anxiety, and then we put what plan into action? Our plan into action is to just do. Plow through this work week. Make our paycheck. Stress over the paycheck. Plow through our home life and do what we have to and stress over it. So are we already planning for our next anxiety? That's kind of what this is asking, is that, are we planning for our next anxiety already? So let me flip over the advice card and see what that says. And of course this is what it says. The advice card is Temperance. And what is Temperance? Temperance is just finding a balance. Not too much, not too little, right? It's about acknowledging, yes, we have things we have to do. The tasks and going to work and things like that don't disappear. But is there something we can do to balance it out? Can we go for a walk? Can we, whenever the Hermit card pops up, I always ask, where's your mountain? And the tarot room here is my mountain, and it's where I can come to relax and to breathe. Mina knits. So, are we planning our next anxiety attack already? Are we already planning all our next stressors? Are we already getting our shoulders bundled up, just thinking about the rest of the week? Or can we find a plan that says, yes, I have a lot to do this week, but I'm also going to take care of myself. And then if we do that, as you can imagine, what we're doing is that we're actually shifting these cards because we focused on the anxiety that we had. So we can focus now on temperance. And now we're putting these in the past and we're prepared to spin the wheel because we're ready for a different kind of future. So a wheel spins like this. And if we have this pattern, because we're not doing this, then this pattern is just going to keep going and going and going, right? See that? Because we're planning our next stress for next week. Or we put these in the past and we take the advice card. Jenna, yeah, let me see what we can do here, because man, I'm like halfway through a book. I've never written a book, but Jenna is amazingly wonderful. She's an editor, she's a teacher, she's all these things. So anybody else who's listening to this. So today, do we want to repeat the cycles of the wheel as I'm about to sneeze? Excuse me. Excuse me. Are we planning our next anxiety? That's the question. So, let's look at temperance. Let's see where we are today, and let's go from there. So with that, thank you all again so much. Have that amazing, amazing day, and I will be back here tomorrow. Take care.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand, whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around, the stories we have found. In the shadows we dance, take a chance, take stars in the sky, the stories we've searching for signs, lost in the sand, whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around, the stories we have found. In the shadows we dance, take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures, guiding light, readers and seekers in the night. Hopes and fears, written in gold. Truth appears as stories unfold. Flip the cards, turn around, the stories we have found. In the shadows we dance, take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures, guiding light, Seekers and seekers in the night, hopes and fears written in gold, truth